Well, it's been 20 years since Sex and the City, a book that really changed how people talk about sex and dating. And the best-selling author, Candace Bushnell, has a new book out there. Is there still sex in the city? So Candace, tell us about the personal inspiration behind writing this, much like the first.
Well, I had a very similar feeling. When I was writing Sex and the City, I was in my mid-30s and I was single and I had lots and lots of girlfriends. We were all in the same boat. And at that time, being single in your 30s, people actually thought there was something weird about it. You had baggage and there must be something wrong with you, and you probably had 20 cats. So Sex and the City was really about, hey, we are going to prove this wrong. It's cool to be single in your 30s. It's a new passage. And when I was writing, Is There Still Sex in the City? It was the same impetus. I found myself divorced in my early 50s. And all of a sudden, I also felt invisible. So a lot of things happen to women in their 50s. You know, there's menopause and all kinds of physical changes, but it's also partly about how society sees women in their 50s. And they don't value women over 50 in the same way that younger women are valued. So I found myself feeling a little bit invisible and having to start my life over again, and not sure that I had the same agency or the same cards. I thought I was the only one, but I discovered that I had lots of girlfriends, many of whom I'd lost touch with, who were also finding themselves divorced in their 50s. So we really all came together again the way we did in those Sex and the City days, and got a lot of support from each other. And also, one of the things that everybody wants to start doing again is they want to start dating. So that was also part of this adventure, was dating in middle age and identifying the patterns and what's different about it.
Well, and even though this isn't a sequel of Sex and the City, I do love that you keep that theme of female friendship throughout your books. Why is it so important for you to convey that?
Well, it's always been important to me, and I think it becomes more and more important for us as really our mating and dating rituals change. There are many, I think, is it 51% of the population is single now?
Wow.
That's a big change from 50 years ago, when I think over 75% of the adult population was married. So being single is really, it's a relatively new lifestyle, and it's definitely a trend that is continuing. And it's really more and more of how we're living our lives today. So there are definitely going to be passages when, even if if we have relationships where we may be single, and in those times, friendship is really, really important. And it is, your friends are your family.
I love that.
So I think that's something that it just becomes more and more important.
Yeah, I, as have many people, fell in love with the series too on HBO, Sex and the City. I heard maybe you're working on a pilot for this one?
Oh, yes. We've already started working on it. And, now it's exciting, because when you go in someplace, they really want to know what could be in the first season. So I've started working on that, and it's great because there's so much to explore in this passage of time, which I call the new middle age. So I feel like, Is There Still Sex in the City? The book, it's almost just the beginning of it.
Oh, I love that. What is the main message that you hope readers get from this book?
Well, I hope it's like Sex in the City, where they really feel like, Is There Still Sex in the City? Helps them get through a particular passage in time. And it just kind of shows like an alternative way to think about your life and how you want to live. And that's really what Sex and the City was about for me. And that's what Is There Still Sex in the City is about. It's kind of about, how to live your life as a woman in your 50s. And that's probably a bunch of, bull, but whatever.
You keep it
I
real.
said it anyway, but it is true.
That's why people can relate to you. You keep it real. Thank you so much, Candace.
Thank you.